The NASCAR Cup Series race officially concluded for Martinsville Speedway, and Denny Hamlin puts up an absolute massive dominating clinic and picks up his first win in Martinsville in 10 years. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race in Martinsville Speedway, the Cookout 400. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So at the start of the race, you had Christopher Bell lead the field from the inside with Chase Elliott on the outside, and Christopher Bell got a fantastic start and was able to clear for the race lead. Christopher Bell pulled away for a little bit, but as the run progressed and went on, Chase Elliott started running down Christopher Bell, and Chase Elliott got a really good run on Christopher Bell in lap 24 and was able to take the race lead from Christopher Bell. The first caution race come out lap number 31. There was some debris off on, I believe, the number 66 car of Casey Mears, who made his first Cup start in 6 years. The debris comes off that car, bringing out the caution. So then we saw a little strategy where guys like Josh Berry, Austin Cindric, Cole Custer, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney all basically stayed out while the rest leaders came down pit road. Christopher Bell won the race off pit road because he took 2 tires along with Joey Logano, with Chase Elliott, who was leading at the time, coming off in third. So then on the restart, you had Josh Berry lead the field from the inside with Austin Cindric on the outside, and then Austin Cindric had a terrible restart, giving Josh Berry a great run to be able to take the race lead. And Josh Berry started pulling away, but some of the newer tires are really starting to come in, but Josh Berry continued to drive away from the field as guys like Logano were getting up to second position. And then a few laps later, the next caution race come out lap number 71 when Chris Buescher spun on the front stretch, getting some contact from Carson Hocevar. To me, it looked like that Chris Buescher went up to the track, didn't seem to clear himself over Carson Hocevar. That got Hocevar up in the wall. Hocevar looked to me like didn't have anywhere to go, and Buescher spun out because of that, bringing out the caution. And then we see a lot of cars come down pit road, except Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger, Ryan Preece, Eric Jones, and John Hunter Nemechek, while everyone else came down pit road. Chase Elliott was the first one off pit road, followed by Denny Hamlin and Cole Custer. And Bubba Wallace and Josh Berry had some contact exiting pit road. This would unfortunately lead to a battery issue for Josh Berry, who was running really well in this race. He would stall coming off of pit road with a battery issue. He would go multiple laps down, stalled on the track, and unfortunately also Austin Dillon had reported that he lost first gear. Tough break for Berry, who was doing really, really good. And then on the restart, you had Joey Logano lead the field from the inside with Alex Bowman on the outside, and Joey Logano got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the lead. Logano will get a couple tenths of a second lead, and coming off the final corner, Joey Logano was able to come off the corner and win stage number 1, followed by Alex Bowman, AJ Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski, and Eric Jones. So then during the caution, Joe Logano, AJ Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones, and Ryan Preece all would come down pit road. But Alex Bowman and John Hunter Nemechek would end up staying out, and they would stay up front. So then also, Austin Cindric came down pit road with a power issue, same battery issues that had plagued Josh Berry. They would stay down there for a couple laps. So then on the restart, you had Alex Bowman lead the field from the inside with Chase Elliott on the outside, and Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott would battle side by side for the next couple laps on the restart, and then eventually on the next lap, Chase Elliott got a really strong run on Alex Bowman and was able to clear for the race lead. At this point, then you had the 2 dominant cars of Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. They would both be up front, and they would start pulling away. The next caution race would end up coming out on lap 122, when Burt Myers slowed down on the front stretch from 37th position. He was trying to come to the garage, it looked like, and stalled basically going down there. Just the tough break for the team. Amerivan team was actually showing some competitive speed today. Tough break for Burt, who just stalled on the track. So then during the caution, we see a little strategy where Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs, Cole Custer, and Daniel Suarez would all come down pit road while the rest leaders would basically come down. And Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe took 2 tires, and they were the first 2 cars off pit road, followed by Chase Elliott. Alex Bowman then would have to come back down pit road once again because he had a loose wheel. It took Fox nearly 10 or 15 minutes to mention this, by the way, but after a really strong run for Bowman, he would go to the tail, and because of that, tough break for Bowman, who was running really good in this race. So then on the restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the outside with Bubba Wallace on the inside, and Denny Hamlin got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And Denny Hamlin will pull out to a pretty massive lead as Denny Hamlin was starting to counter some traffic as the run went on, but Hamlin continued to dominate. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott was starting to charge his way up to the front, and with about 5 laps to go in stage number 2, got a great run on Bubba Wallace and moved up to second position. But it would not matter at the end as Denny Hamlin would come off the final corner and win stage number 2, followed by Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs, and Chase Briscoe. So then, all the lap cars have then come down pit road with Denny Hamlin winning the race off off pit road, followed by Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace. And Ty Gibbs had a bad pit stop and lost a ton of ground and would drop to about 10th. So then on the restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the inside with Chase Elliott on the outside, and Denny Hamlin was able to get a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead, with Chase Elliott a couple laps later eventually being able to clear Bubba Wallace and moved up to second position. Then a couple laps later, one of the 23-11 racing cars that ended up spinning out, that being Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst would be 3 wide going down the front straightaway, and there would be some contact between him and Austin Cindric going into turn number 1. Riley Herbst would spin, having some contact a little bit in the outside wall. That would bring out the caution. So then on the next restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the inside with Bubba Wallace on the outside, and Denny Hamlin got a great restart and was able to clear for the lead, with Chase Elliott being able to move up to second position after a couple of laps. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin started pulling away and was starting to get a pretty massive lead over Chase Elliott, but as they caught the lap traffic with around 150 laps to go, Chase Elliott started charging after Denny Hamlin and was getting there, but unfortunately, Denny Hamlin started once again pulling away from Chase Elliott. And then Ross Chastain had some contact with Kyle Larson throughout the run, kept moving him up and down the track, forced Larson up, and he moved up to 5th or 6th position because of that. And then we started seeing some green flag pit stops. William Byron, Alex Bowman would then come down pit road first. Then the next lap, Justin Haley would come down pit road. But all the strategy would be thwarted with 126 laps to go, with Shane Van Gisbergen having the tire not being tight on the car with the lug nuts, and unfortunately was spin out in turn 3 to 4 because he didn't have the right rear wheel on the car. Just a tough break for Shane Van Gisbergen. He will basically get a 2-lap penalty because of that. Just a bad season overall for SVG to start the year. Outside of Circuit Americas and a good run in the Clash, it's not been the best start of the year for Shane Van Gisbergen. Tough break there for Shane. I know he's been frustrated with the start of the season. Just a bad thing that Trackhouse did there, and unfortunately cost SVG. Might have been a good strategy. He was actually moving through the field, getting some good positions, but his chance to win would come to an end. So then, all lead lap cars would then come down pit road, with Denny Hamlin winning the race off pit road, followed by Christopher Bell and Bubba Wallace. And unfortunately for Chase Elliott, he would have a not the best pit stop and would drop to 4th position after being second most of the day. So then, unfortunately, also John Hunter Nemechek and Carson Ospar would get penalized on pit road and have to go to the tail end. So then on the restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the inside with Bubba Wallace on the outside, and Denny Hamlin got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the lead. Meanwhile, Christopher got a really good run on Bubba Wallace, and he would move up to second position, getting by Bubba. And then we saw a little bit of frustration between Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain, and they battled side by side, battling up there for 5th. And then a couple laps later, the next caution race come on lap 298 when Ty gets spun off of turn number 2 from 11th position after some contact with Tyler Reddick. It looked like Ty Gibbs might have gotten a little wide going in the corner and came down the track a little bit, but Tyler Reddick also sent it in there for whatever reason and got into Ty Gibbs, bringing out the caution. Zane Smith also got collected in the incident. Just tough break for Ty Gibbs there, who was having his best run of the season. He's been struggling all year. Tough to see that for Ty, who looked really good. He would recover, though, so good for him. But unfortunately, his chance at a good run would be over. We saw a little strategy where Ty Dillon, Zane Smith, Eric Jones, Suarez, Byron, and Gibbs would all come down pit road. So then on the next restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the inside with Bubba Wallace on the outside, and Denny Hamlin got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, another caution would come out on lap 309 when Noah Gragson spun from 28th position after contact from Chris Buescher. Buescher just, I don't know what he was doing there going into turn number 1. He just missed the corner, wheel hopped into Noah Gragson, and brought out the caution. And they were both not very happy with each other. There would be some tempers flaring between both of them. Gragson justifiably being upset. I don't know what Chris Buescher was doing there, to be honest. That was a pretty bad move on Buescher's part. So then on the next restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the inside with Bubba Wallace on the outside, and Denny Hamlin got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And then the next caution race and the final caution race come out with 84 laps to go when Chase Briscoe clipped the curb going into turn number 3 and got into Joey Logano, just missed a corner there, and unfortunately ends up hitting Joey Logano, spinning him out, bringing out the final caution of the race. And then we're thinking, oh God, it's going to be like the Xfinity Series race yesterday after all that. But luckily, it wouldn't turn into that. So then on the final restart of the race, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the inside with Christopher Bell on the outside, and Denny Hamlin got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And at this point, Denny Hamlin started pulling away as they got to the lap traffic. Christopher Bell would try to maintain with Denny Hamlin, but it's clear as day Denny Hamlin was doing a much better job without getting through all the traffic and was starting to pull away from Christopher Bell as Bell's car in the long run was not as good. And then with a few laps to go, Denny Hamlin continued to start pulling away from the field and was starting to charge his way out. No one really have anything for Denny Hamlin as Denny Hamlin pulled out to near 5-second lead. And coming off the final corner, Denny Hamlin's able to pull out to near 5-second lead and pick up his first win in nearly a year since Dover of 2024. Picks up his 55th career NASCAR Cup Series win, tying Rusty Wallace, and picks up his first win at Martinsville in 10 years. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin also is the first win for Progressive as a sponsor in the NASCAR Cup Series, so it's a really big deal for the Progressive sponsorship there, considering Denny lost some big sponsors this year. But Denny Hamlin absolutely earned this win. Denny had the fastest car today by a mile. I think his biggest competitor we'll talk about here just a little bit. Unfortunately, finished a little bit farther back, but Hamlin just had a dominant car, led nearly 300 laps of this race today, just put on an absolute clinic in this event. He had the best car by a mile. His car was really good on the short runs, really good on the long runs, played some strategy as well, and picks up a win. We were really questioning how Denny was going to do this year with the new crew chief of Chris Gale. It seems like this partnership's worked out really well to start the year. Massive congratulations to Hamlin. He's been close to winning races. Eventually, you're going to win if you run well enough. We've been questioning. We don't know how much longer Denny Hamlin has in his career. He gets a win today. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin, on picking up the win today at Martinsville. A pretty iconic win, with it being win number 55. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the race results, and I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. So Denny Hamlin picks up the win. Christopher Bell finishes second. What a turnaround from the last couple weeks. The last couple weeks for Bell have not been really good after winning 3 in a row. Of course, he finished 12th at Vegas, had major issues at Homestead, was never a factor. Today, he was a factor. Less than laps early. Car was not that great on the long run, but he had really good short run speed and gets himself a really strong top 5 finish. A track that Bell's been up or down in the past. Great turnaround. He finishes second. Bubba Wallace finished third. Bubba Wallace, another great run for the number 23 team. Back-to-back top 5s for this organization. This 23 team's been on a roll to start the year. He's had a lot of really good races, had a top 5 at Vegas going for it, got caught up in an incident, and eventually I think he's going to win. I'm proud of the 23 team. There was a lot of questions going into this year on how this team was going to do, and today Bubba Wallace delivered with another really strong and really great run. He's continuing to impress me. I think he's going to win before the end of this year, may get a couple wins with the speed they're showing. He's been the strongest 2311 racing car in recent weeks. Great run for Bubba. He finishes third. Chase Elliott finishes fourth. Chase Elliott probably had the best car outside of Denny Hamlin. He definitely had a top 2 car, and I thought he was going to be the guy to beat. He showed a lot of good speed in practice, had a really good car, just was very difficult to pass in this race. He could never get back up there with the track position. He still had a really good day, though. Really good turnaround for the 9 team. They should be happy with the run they had. I know they wanted to win, but a great top 5 for Chase. He finishes fourth. Kyle Larson finishes fifth. Larson kind of struggled throughout the day, but they made some adjustments on that car and definitely made it a little bit better at times. And he had some really good restarts as well and comes home with a solid top 5. Say what you want to say about Larson. He may not be the best at his track, but he continues to have a really strong start to this season. He finishes fifth and closes in on the point slate as well with that great run. Great run for Kyle Larson. Ross Chastain finished at 6th. A quite good day for Ross Chastain. Ran top 10 most of the day, took tire strategy, stayed up front, had a pretty good car, moved his way through the field, especially on the long run. I like the speed from the one team that really turned in the corner. Great run for Ross to get a top 10 finish. Ryan Preece finished 7th. Another top 10 finish. The first time in his career he's had 3 straight top 10 finishes. Brian Preece has been really good with the 60 team to start the year. We knew he was going to be fast in this race today. Struggled early, but they made some good calls, and that car got better as they progressed and went on. I love the speed from the 60 car to start the year. He finishes 7th. Joe Logano finishes 8th. Finally picks up a top 10. Gets a well-deserved top 10 finish, in my opinion. He had a top 10 car all day. One of his better runs of the season. It's been a struggle for the number 22 team with getting the finishes. Today, they capitalized on a really good run. They needed this good run today, and they get a solid performance and come back from their issues. He finished 8th. Chase Briscoe finished 9th. Ran top 10 majority of the race. Never had the speed to win, but comes home with a solid top 10 and 9th. Good run for Briscoe. Another good run for him. And Todd Gillen finishes 10th. Good day for Todd Gillen. Ran top 15 most of the day. Legitimately had a pretty fast car. Best run for the front row cars today. Good run for him. He finishes in 10th. Ryan Blaney finished 11th. I'm disappointed in Ryan Blaney, to be honest. Blaney never had the car today. The car just never was there for Blaney. I was really surprised how far off compared to other times he's been here. The car just never was that great when it comes to their setup. They had the battery issues too. He does get a top 15, so at least he finished a race today, but I thought Blaney would be more a factor. He was never a major factor in this race, just struggled all day long. He finished his 11th. Michael McDowell finished 12th. Not a bad day for Michael McDowell. Ran top 10 quite a bit of this race and comes home with a solid top 15 finish. Ty Gibbs finished 13th. A much-needed run for this team. First top 15 of the season. He had a top 10 car going, got spun out, but he does recover to get a top 15 finish in 13th place. Honestly, I think he'll take that. I know he's disappointed of not getting a top 10, but with how bad this season's been for Ty, this is a turnaround he needs. He gets a top 15. Tyler Reddick finishes 14th. Another kind of disappointing week for Reddick, but Reddick's never been that great at Martinsville. He might need to lead on Bubba Wallace at this point because he hasn't been great at this track. He finished 14th. Ty Dillon finished 15th. Ran top 20 all day long. Had a pretty solid run in the call cars. Have shown some solid speed to start the year. Ty's doing better than I thought he was going to do. He finished 15th. Zane Smith finishes 16th. Kyle Busch finished 17th. Had a top 15 car points, but they just never had the speed. They ran better than the last couple years, so I'll give them that at this point. So it seems like maybe RCR's turned the corner a little bit, but still wasn't the best run for the team. Austin Dillon finishes 18th, Carson Nosbar finishes 19th, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes 20th. Daniel Suarez finished 21st, William Byron finished 22nd. A surprisingly bad day for William Byron and Martinsville. He's been really good at this track historically, so definitely a big surprise that he struggled all day long. Just not the best run for the 2014th, how good they've been in the spring. Not a great day for him. AJ Allmendinger finished 23rd. Eric Jones finished 24th. Chris Buescher finished 25th. John Henry Nemechek finished 26th. Brad Keselowski continues his really bad start to the year. He finished 27th. Alex Bowman finished 20th. Just could never get the track position. Went a lap down in this race. Finishes outside the top 25. Not the best day for Alex Bowman. Justin Haley finishes 29th. Noah Gragson finished 30th. Cody Ware finished 31st. Riley Herbst struggles again. Finished 32nd. Josh Berry, who had a fast car early, had a great run going until he had the battery issues. He finished 33rd. Cole Custer finished 34th. Shane Van Gisbergen finished 35th. Again, just been a rough start for the 88 team to start the year. Only one top 10. They had good speed going. They were moving through the field. Just never had a chance because they had the issues with the tire. He finished 35th. Casey Mears finished 36th. Actually showed some okay speed, all things considered, for a 66 team. Grass 66 never had the grass speed. He did finish under 10 laps down, so that's a positive for Casey Mears, and kept his nose clean all day long. That's what you need to do for someone who hasn't been behind the wheel in a long time. Burt Myers finished 37th, and Austin finishes last in 38th place. So now let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. Honestly, I will take what I saw today over what I saw last night. And for a spring Martinsville race, this actually was a pretty decent race. Sure, Denny Hamlin dominated the event, and you're going to have races from time to time that drivers are going to dominate at Martinsville. We've seen it in the past before. I think the first two stages were really entertaining, had some good moments for sure, had a lot of that really fun and awesome tire strategy, and I will say tires mattered a little bit. They didn't matter a significant amount, and we didn't have enough long runs at the end, especially to really see who could be the strongest, and it was definitely very difficult to pass, but compared to other spring Martinsville races, this is definitely the best one we've seen so far. Was it a great race? No. Was it a terrible race? No. I think it was an okay race for Martinsville standards. It was a decent race. It still was one of the worst races, I think, of the year so far, but it wasn't a bad race in my opinion. I think there's some good moments. It is salvageable compared to last night's event. I really enjoyed this race at points. I think the best car won the race, so that's a positive for me. I think it was a decent race overall. I'm going to give today's race at Martinsville overall a 7 out of 10. It had good moments for sure. Wasn't great. Had some good battles throughout the field. Decent spring Martinsville race. 7 out of 10 is my score for today's race. And it was probably the best race of the week, in all honesty, for all three series. So, that is going to be it for the NASCAR Cup Series race review from Martinsville Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. List description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Denny Hamlin on picking up his first win of 2025. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. We're not doing an SVG SVG video with him struggling all day today once again. We'll do a video on him in the future if he has good runs. We're also going to be doing some other content. We'll talk about the Xfinity race and the train wreck. That was from yesterday. Tomorrow, we're also going to talk about maybe some manufacturer stuff, maybe Dodge, Ford, Honda. We're also going to have, of course, the reactions to the throwback paint schemes on Thursday. And we've got some other content to talk about Jesse Love, Haley Dean, Carlos, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch. We've got entry list videos coming out this week. We got a lot of content on other people, Eric Almirola, Connor Zilish, Chandler Smith, SVG, Red Bull, all that good stuff we'll talk about on the channel. Same with FedEx and maybe M&M's as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.